Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Beaglington Review. And this time, we have something that I've been waiting for a very long time. It's this. It's the R3894 Hornby Ruston Hornsby 88DS No.4 in North British Distillery livery. There you go, a bit of a mouthful. And I've been waiting for this since it was announced 3 years ago, so finally here. Finally here. And I would like to get it open and see. Yes, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Beaglington Review. It's been a while, and we finally have this. So this is the R3894, can't remember if I said that right in the intro, North British Ruston Hornsby 88DS 040 No.4. And this was announced at the start of 2021, and I think it was supposed to be out second or third quarter 2021, and it wasn't, and I went, I'm going to buy that for myself, because it should be out by Christmas maybe. So I pre-ordered it, and that was apparently, I didn't actually get around to doing it until the 30th of December 2021. And by that point, it was nearly a year late. Well, it's April 2024. And the thing is now something like £113 to buy new, maybe more, RRP. But it cost me $36.24. Sorry, I just said 86, didn't I? 86.24, not 36. Make sure I said 86 there. Yeah, so 86.24, and shipping was 13.72, and then I had to pay an extra like 30 quid for customs. So there we are. Now this was packed in a box with lots of bubble wrap, and then it's inside this box, which has another layer of bubble wrap, and then it's inside another box. It's upside down. So here we are. Yes, I suppose we can get the bubble wrap off now. And here. And so, here it is. And I was expecting the picture to be a little bit brighter. It's kind of a bit dull compared to the images we've seen of the actual thing at Hornby. And so, this is the same thing again, 3894 North British. Oh, I'm shaking, I can't wait to open it. Like, I've waited so long for this, it seems silly, like, and I've pestered Hornby about it, and I've moaned in videos, and I've posted things about it, and I've commented on people's live stream things about it, and about how late it's been, and now it's finally here, it's finally at the desk, and it's finally going on Beaglington-On-Sea. So here we go. Let's get the sleeve off of it. Oh, no. Well, it was going to be a nice reveal. There we go. It's coming now. Ready? Box, buffer beam, and there it is. Wow. There we go. And so on the back of there, we have some information about Ruston Hornsby and about this particular diesel. So 421415, as the diesel was built new for the North British Distillery Co. and was delivered on the 3rd of March 1958 to their distillery in the Gorges district of Edinburgh. And around that period, the distillery was expanding and included the Edinburgh Corporation Tramways Depot. And in 1973, the locomotive was donated to the fledgling Fife Railway Preservation Group, who located it at the Lochte Private Railway until its demise in 1994. Lying dormant at Methil Power Station until FRPG could find a new site to develop as their heritage centre, 421415, now numbered North British Distilleries No. 4, has now been restored and wears the livery of the North British Railway. And I think it looks very Stroudley-esque. And that's mainly the reason why I wanted this one. But I've also had to wait a long time for this one. Others have been out for months. But this particular one, maybe because the livery is more intricate, just happened to take time, I guess, to be released. So, how do we release it from its packet? We've got couplers and the blanking things to go in if you don't want to fit the couplings. Bit of protection on the top of there. Here we go. Oh, it's heavy. It is heavy. The handrail I don't know if you can see it. The handrail on the front side here is ever so slightly bent. This one here, it kind of comes out. I don't know why. Don't know if it's meant to be like that. It doesn't look like that on the other side, does it? No. Oh well, it's not too noticeable. But yeah, it's a pretty little thing. I'm actually going to bring it closer to the camera and see if I can get the focus to work on it. There we go. So you can see it's got North British. You can just about make it out there. It's yellow and red on the sort of ochre livery, so it's quite hard to make out in this light. There we go. See, North British. And you've got these lovely sort of lined panels on the cab. It has been modelled with the sort of blanking shutters on the back of the cab, which I don't think prototypically it would have run with those in preservation. I think they just put their to close up the windows for a while or whatever, I don't know. Someone told me before that it shouldn't have those, but you know, I haven't met the loco myself, so I can't say for certain. But the number 4 on the back is very pretty as well. It's very clear, very crisp. It's actually in a different shade of red to the buffer beam, which is very nice. And you've got this lamp at the back. It's only a painted thing. It's not completely detailed. In that sense, it doesn't have actual lights. And then around the front, we have another one of these little silver lights, and the front is the bonnet is black, the radiator cover, as you can see. So I don't really need to describe it to you, but there it is. And then you've got the donkey engine cover on the side there for getting the engine started or whatever it was. So you've got a little horn as well. It's really difficult to keep this thing in focus because it's so small. Just up here, and some pipe work, and there's some nice riveting detail on the top. The cab is detailed inside, but you can't see it very well because there's only these tiny windows at the side. But you can see in there. Oh yeah, that's a good shot there. You can see all there's dials and there's handles and things. And you can see inside the back there. There's not that much detail on the rear side, I don't think. There is a brake handle in there that you can see from this side. There you go. Put it back into... Yeah, I just got back into focus now. So the buffers are not sprung, but they are quite fine. And they've got little patterns on them as well, little dimples on the ends of the buffers there. The chassis is a bit of a block, really. I suppose maybe there's a lot of weight in there as well. Presumably it's die cast. The thing feels very heavy. It feels like a big metal brick, so it should have good traction, hopefully. It's got wiper pickups on all the wheels, and they're painted in this nice yellow livery as well. So I'm going to pop that down there and get it back into focus, because it's really difficult for some reason to get my camera to focus on this little thing. I'll zoom in and then I'll refocus, and we'll be... So I've put the detailing bag aside. I've taken out the couplings, and I'm going to fit couplings to this now. You can see underneath that there are screws holding the body to the chassis, and then it looks like more screws holding the cab to the body part, and then you've got these sections here for putting in the couplers, and it looks like this base plate unscrews as well. I'm not going to take mine apart. Other reviewers have done it, so you can go and look at theirs and see what the inside looks like, but I'm not breaking it 5 minutes after getting it. So, one coupling in. It's a bit of a loose fit when you can get it in, because it went in and it came straight back out again. Is that in? Yeah, I think that's all right now. And then we'll plug in the other one. So yeah, you don't get chain couplings, but you do get nice hooks, and there's these nice handrails as well on the back. So the separately fitted detail is nice. There's sanding pipes on the bottom as well, just here, and there's these sort of, I assume that's part of the suspension, and you've got the axle boxes. Yeah, and the wheels are painted nice, and well, hopefully it runs really nicely, because I have the other Ruston, and that works really well. So it's going to be putting it down onto the railway and seeing how it runs. just trying to see if there's actually a gap between this wheel and the brake, because it's very close to get there, like, so we'll see anyways. So yes, it's a lovely detailed model, and I'm really excited to get it onto the layout, and we'll give it a bit of a test, see how it runs, and get it pulling some trains and maybe doing some shunting. So before we start the shunting and haulage tests, we'll just have a look at the manual, which I didn't actually look at while we were at the desk because I was so excited to open it. So if I put it there and in focus, you should be able to read all of that if you really need to. The interesting thing is it says DCC ready and DCC fitted, and I can't remember there being any of the 4 that were actually DCC fitted. So is that something to come, or just something that they do to everything just in case they do happen to do it, or to cover fitting yourself? So there's lubrication, and it says important, only apply small single drops of light machine oil to the places indicated. And as you can see, the places indicated are the axles. And then here we have, there's those 4 screws, and you can also see those other screws are marked in just there and there, presumably for the lifting of the cab off of the body. So yeah, and then obviously just lifts up, and that's an interesting chassis there. That might be useful to other industrial modelers who could use it for other locomotives if they're making them, 3D printing them or hitting kits or whatever. So that's, something that they might be interested in. And as you can see, it does apparently have an NEM 651 standard socket. I don't know what that is. There's a number of pins there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So does that mean it's a normal standard 6-pin socket? Maybe it does. And you can see more of what the motor is itself. You've got the motor here, and then presumably the gearing is in there, and the wheels. And it says carefully fit the detailed parts into their location points. There you've got that coupler, which was a bit loose when I tried to fit it to the front, and the other bit there that goes in to keep it solid in case you're not using the couplings, but you also don't have a chain coupling to go on the hook. So yeah. It's not provided, so they've given you the potential to blank off the tension locks if you're going to use the hooks, but don't provide you with the chains with the hooks to couple it to anything. So assuming that your wagons have the hooks, I guess, to use it. Whether there are a Hornby spare that you can buy that will connect to that hook as a chain, I don't know, because I don't really use those kind of couplings, but I just thought I would point that out. But you can also see those weird dimples on the buffers. Now, whether they're prototypical to this preserved version, I don't know. Whether they just be smeared in grease or whatever, I also don't know. But I'm just pointing them out here so that you can see them. They're present on the instructions, and they are present on the model itself. But nothing there about separating the cab from the rest of the body, besides showing the screws, which you can see yourself. And on the back there is just the usual thing there. Television suppression, yeah. Incorporates radio and television interference suppressors. Well, that's a handy thing to have. But there's no television in my railway room, so I don't need to worry about it. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it anyways, because this has a suppressor, but I'm just saying. Right, let's get on and do some testing. Right, so we're down here behind the cliffs at Beaglington-On-Sea on the sort of fiddle yard area, and I'm going to use the HM2000 and power up the diesel. So this is the very first time I've run this 88DS, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of power. It's a pretty good slow speed. So that's maybe 2. You can kind of hear it purring there. Oh, it's stalled. There you go. That's maybe on the 3rd or 4th power dot on the HM2000. The track works probably a little bit dirty, even though I cleaned it. Right, and this is about half power now coming past. And put it onto full power. And this is full speed. So we'll zoom out a little. And we'll go past again. So it's got a nice sedentary pace, and if I put it onto the line with the red knob, it'll power it a lot faster. So this is what it's capable of. Here it comes. This is full speed on the red knob controller. See, it's just that little bit faster. There's a bit more of a power range, I think, for the higher speeds. This controller makes it stutter a bit at the lower speeds. So what I'll do is I'll change over to the HM2000 on the inside line, and that will give me smoother control as we do a points test. So we'll see now whether it can handle the points. Ah yes, here we are, the dreaded Beaglington-On-Sea points test. Here comes the Ruston 88 No.4. It seems to go fine over the points. I'm going to put it really slowly and see whether it gets over the frog. Yeah. Whether it goes through this insulated frog this way, that, straight over. These points further on probably are a little bit dirty. Again, I did clean them, but maybe not as well as I should have done. This should go over fine. Yeah, look at that, over all the frogs at really slow speed. It's getting stuck there though, on the dead zone. So some of the time it'll go over. And if you've got that kind of speed, if you're not going absolutely crawlingly slow, it's fine. Right, we'll go and see if we can put it through this S-bend now. Should be perfectly fine. It's a short wheelbase locomotive. Should have absolutely no trouble doing this kind of thing. Until it stalls on the frogs, obviously, but like I said, the track in the sidings is not brilliant. So here we are in the brewery sidings. Good place for a distillery diesel to be, I suppose. And we'll just give it a bit of a helping hand because the track isn't brilliant there. But we'll bring it forward now, should be fine. And we can go over. As you can see, it's handling these points mostly alright, and they're not good quality points. If you had proper, modern, clean points, it's probably going to be fine. So we can run it into the siding there. Get the barrels. And then, even over this rubbish track, it's handling it quite well. So no problem propelling the wagon. And it's coupled up fine, even though it's an old style of coupling. And so we can just change the points and bring it back over here. So that's looking quite good. Let's see now. Why don't we see how many wagons I can get it to pull? Well, here it comes now, and it's on about 75% speed. And this is really the most that I really want to push it. It's going around corners, so it's, you know, it's got a lot of strain there. These are all plastic wheels on the first wagons. But there is, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 wagons. That's the limit now. If they were all metal axles, it would probably be fine. And if it was on straight, it would be fine. That's pretty much the most I can get it to do. And some of these wagons have loads of it as well. And really, I'm not going to be making it pull extremely long trains. It's not going to be used for that. I don't know about other people's layouts, but not on mine. So there it is now. It's comfortably running there with 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 wagons there. Some of them have plastic axles. So I'd say that's pretty good haulage, really. On a train set like this, well, I say train set, it's a layout, but it's more or less the train set size. I'm not going to need it to pull more than that, really. So I think that that's actually a pretty good performance. Yes, well, that was how it did haulage-wise. And like I said, if it's on a railway like a train set and you've got tight curves and plastic axles, it's going to put a bit more of a strain on it. And if you've got a small shunting layout, you're probably not going to be moving that many wagons anyways. So it's not really a problem for my railway, at least, anyways. So I've got it set up with what I wanted to set it up with, which is LBSC coaches, because I like the livery. It's like a Stroudley livery, and it's going to go well with these coaches. And so I've been waiting ages and ages to get this to run with these coaches because I think it's going to look fab. So I'm going to let that go around the railway and get some nice footage of it running. And that's on the outside line. So we'll get that going now at a nice pace. And then on the middle line I have my other Ruston, the 48DS in army livery, and that's just pulling a short train there. I went with Great Western because it matches the green. And then on the middle line I have, no, sorry, the inside line I have the M&GNR orange D tank that I reviewed last year. And that's pulling the Tickfield-esque train. So, I'll leave those running and get some footage before we finish. Yes, well that's just such a fine sight to see it on those LBSC coaches. Just stopping at the station there now. Yeah, really, really smart. Really lovely when it comes past the window and the sun is actually shining. Catches off that livery, looks fantastic. And I'll have to run it at some point with the LBSC brakeman and some wagons. So that will probably be in a future video of Beaglington-On-Sea. But yeah, it looks great. And now I'm going to go over there and do my conclusion. Yes, so that's the Hornby R3894 Ruston Hornsby 88DS in North British Distillery livery, No. 4. What can I say about it? It's a very smart, very pretty little industrial diesel. It's got a lovely livery that's very well applied. It's got external, separately fitted details. It's very heavy, and it looks magnificent. It's not too bad for haulage on my layout, and like I said, if it's on the straight, I think it would do quite well. There's no gradients also on my layouts test, so you'll have to check out other reviews for people with a bit more strenuous scenery for their locomotives to go around. But yeah, it handled my absolutely appalling points quite well as well. So, would I buy another one? In a different livery that's as attractive as this livery, yeah, I wouldn't be too keen on the BR blue as much. I mean, it's quite smart, but it's nowhere near as pretty as this. Obviously I have a smaller Ruston. I quite like small locomotives with really nice liveries. So price wise now, it is more than £100, but it seems to be around that price. It seems to be that sort of size of locomotive. The chassis, I know that people who know the prototype won't be happy with the massive black brick that is the chassis, but with a locomotive this small, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, yes, you can get N-gauge mechanisms that are smaller, but we're talking about something that's quite heavy, so you need a mechanism that's going to be able to actually move that weight as well. So I don't think that's too much of a problem. Whether the boarding up of the windows at the back is accurate, probably not for a running locomotive, because how would anyone see what's going on behind them? They'd have to lean out of the cab, and given that it has closed cab doors, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. I don't know if you could take the cab roof off and fit a man inside. If you could DCC it and add lights, that would be kind of cool, but not something I'm going to be attempting with mine because I don't want to break it. And yeah, so what I say about it, really, it's just been a long wait. It's 3 years since it was announced, but it's here. It's finally here. I can stop complaining about it now. that it's here and I can have it run on my railway and it will appear in episodes of Beaglington-On-Sea, and whenever else I want to run it, I can run it and go, yes, that's pretty. That was actually worth the wait. So, you know, good things come to those who wait. Patience is a virtue. And, yeah. God, it's so pretty. Well, that's all for this episode of the Beaglington Review. I hope you've enjoyed it. I am going to enjoy running this train some more. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to everyone who likes, cares, comments, likes, shares, comments, and subscribes, and those who comment as well. And we'll see you for another review soon, hopefully. And yeah, I'm going to go play with my new Ruston. Where I would if I'd have put it on the track properly. There we go.